Hey, fellow mathers. Before we get into this episode, have we got some really important information?
Y'all, registration is now open for our Building Powerful Mathematics online workshops. I know you're as excited as we are because this is where the magic happens. The why, when, how, the details, the experience, making real mathing happen in you and your classroom.
Building your numeracy, your mathematics, gaining insight into which models and strategies to use, seeing the teacher moves in action, and more is all jam-packed into these content-rich online workshops that you can take anytime, any day on your schedule. We've got workshops for teachers kindergarten through grade 12. Head on over to mathisfigureoutable.com/workshops to find your best fit. That's mathisfigureoutable.com/workshops.
Registration is only open for a short time, so book your spot before it's too late. Now on to the episode.
I'm sure the episode's going to be great. Hey, fellow mathers. Welcome to the podcast where math is figure-outable. I'm Pam Harris, a former mimicker turned mather.
And I'm Kim Montague, a reasoner who now knows how to share her thinking with others. At Math is Figure-Outable, we are on a mission to improve math teaching.
We know that algorithms are amazing human achievements, but they're not good teaching tools because mimicking step-by-step procedures can actually trap students into using less sophisticated reasoning than the problems are intended to develop.
In this podcast, we help you teach mathing, building relationships with your students, and grappling with mathematical relationships.
We invite you to join us to make math more figure-outable. It's almost kind of boring when we get that right. Oh, well.
We'll try not to be boring today.
There you go.
So speaking of not being boring, we have some exciting news to share.
Kim, we are so excited to announce that we have a brand new partnership with Hand to Mind. Hand to Mind is a cool company out there with even cooler people that work with them and for them. And we are super excited to announce that we will be doing some really cool things with Hand to Mind that we'll be announcing soon. So today we're just kind of announcing that we're excited about the partnership with Hand to Mind, and stay tuned to hear more about what we are doing with them. Yeah, very exciting. All right. So, Kim, today we thought we would talk a little bit about some cool things with games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love games.
You do. In fact, I think you're better at games than I am. We played games when my kids were little, but not as well as you guys do.
Wait, what do you mean by better? Like I play them more often with my people, or?
That's what I mean, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought, because I was saying we haven't played a lot of games together. I don't know that I'd be better at it. But...
yeah, no, just like making it happen. And
yeah.
Sometimes my kids have different game interests now that they're adults. Mm-hmm. So I have a harder time convincing him to play the games I want to play, but still, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. So there is a wonderful leader in British Columbia, Canada, who did some really nice things with games. And Kim, can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So Barb Lovitch, she's one of our journey leaders, and she posted recently in our Facebook group about games. And, they made some really great choices in their school, and everybody got really excited because she shared some games that they used. But one of the things that she said was when they set out to start having kids think about math, they were really focused on changing their students' attitudes and beliefs about math. And I think that's a really interesting and smart entry. A lot of people want to just dive right into like, they need better strategies, or they need, whatever support.
Fact practice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that happens, and I understand why, but they decided that they really wanted to elevate kids' thinking in a different way. And so they intentionally bought games that did not involve numbers or calculations, but they were really focused on like logic and reasoning and spatial awareness, problem solving, all these things that we need for kids to be great at math. And so what they did was the administrators took the games from class to class, and they sat next to students when they played. And so they were asking questions, and they had kids talk about their game strategy, what their move would be, and how they knew where to put pieces. And what they did was they started hearing that their students were developing attitudes and habits that they wanted their kids to demonstrate in math class. So they were risk taking and they were learning from mistakes and they were working cooperatively. And so they were changing
Ah,
strategies when it wasn't working. So all of those really important skills and mindsets and beliefs were emerging through these games that they had chosen. So she shared some games with us that they had chosen, and some of them I had heard of before, but some I never had. So that was fun for me because,
oh
I do
yeah, new
love
games.
games.
Yeah.
And we can put them in the show notes, but I'll mention a few. One was the Cubit series and Balance Beans, which I bought for my youngest when he was little, and it's super fun. And she mentioned Quarto and Dimension and Blockus, which my family loves. There are several others, but we'll put them in the show notes. But I just loved their approach to why doing games.
Hmm.
And it felt different to me than what I've heard some people say before.
Well, and I think one of the natural outcomes of that is that the administrator and the coach then were able to develop relationships with students
Yeah,
around those things you just mentioned.
sure.
Strategy, what your move might be, what you're thinking about, the idea
Yeah.
that it's logic and reasoning, and then now with that relationship, then when later these people go in and want to sit down with students and chat mathematical strategy and chat,
Mhm.
numeracy strategy,
Mhm.
now they have this kind of what feeling tone already set up, and so
Mhm. Yep.
like let's dive in and hey, we're gonna do the same kind of thing here. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
brilliant.
You know,
It's
and I
really
bet they
nice.
loved it. All too often, our coaches and our administrators, I know they try to get in classrooms, and there's lot of reasons why that may not be able to happen as much as they want to, but how fun is that?
Yeah.
Just go sit down in classrooms and say, "Hey, let's play this game." I bet they had a great time too.
And it would take some intentionality, right? To
Sure.
set
Yep.
aside that time and plan and make sure that that kind of thing happens. Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
cool. Hey, so speaking of games, when I was in Australia, I ran into Michael Minas,
Uh-huh.
who I think, Kim, you actually might. Are you the one that sent me the first game? Yeah.
No, no, you sent me a game and said your boys would love this. And so I
I wonder
immediately
how
sent it. Yeah,
okay.
I don't
Okay.
know. You
Yeah.
you sent it to me and I sent it to my oldest and I said, "Hey, watch this, learn this, let's play it." Yeah.
Oh, bam, nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, somehow thank you whoever sent me the original one. I'm not sure
Yeah.
how I ran into it. Maybe Twitter,
Yeah.
possibly.
Uh-huh.
I remember I watched the video. He has kind of funny music to his videos. It's interesting choice, but it's fantastic because what he does is he introduces a game, but he plays it with his kids or one of his
Yeah.
sons, and super fun. And so I just kind of actually knew him as Nash's dad because the first one that I watched, it was him playing with his son Nash. And so super fun. When I was in Australia, I had gotten to the Mathematical Association of Victoria, and I was doing a gig there with a wonderful group of teachers. And a gentleman walked in and introduced himself, and he just kind of like cocked his head just enough that it was like he had done on the video. And I was like, oh, "You're Nash's dad!" Like, and, and he just laughed. He's like, "Yes," and I was like, "No, no, no! Like I know your YouTube channel." And he kind of, it was cute because he's like, "Really, you know who I am? Oh, well, I guess if you know Nash, like you've actually watched the
That's funny.
games." And yeah, it was brilliant. So we've
Yeah.
communicated a little bit since. And he has on his website a whole collection of games that he has videoed playing with his kids that you can watch. And yeah, super fun. I also, when we were talking to Liesel McConchy the other day, she mentioned that she had found him during COVID because he was putting out all these videos of games and how he just really saved her family because they were able to do these really cool games during
Mhm.
COVID. And so, yeah, fantastic. So, Kim, we thought we'd play one of his games today. The one that
Yeah.
I think you played with your kids, right? That you thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, I played one game with Luke. Yeah.
Okay, all right, and it's called Multiple Machine.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be honest. I've watched him play. You've played with Luke. We're gonna
Uh-huh.
play together today. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
half brains playing together today. Okay,
We'll be okay.
all right. So I've got the cards. You're gonna kind of tell me what to do.
Okay, so what you need are 0 to 9 cards.
Uh huh.
And you're gonna draw 4 of them, and you're gonna set 4 of them at the top, just kind of at the top of your table or whatever.
Yep.
And those can't be a 0 or 1. So grab 4, not 0 or
Okay,
1.
so I got 2 1s, so I'm putting those aside. And can they repeat? I think I remember
Uh,
that they can't repeat.
oh,
So
probably
yeah,
not. Yeah.
okay, so, yeah. So I'm putting that one aside.
And you're gonna tell me
And
what those 2 are at the top,
okay,
please.
so I got another repeat. Good heavens. Okay, I have a 2, 3,
Shuffle, Pam.
5, well, it's a brand new deck. A 2, 3, 5, and 7. 2, 3, 5,
2,
and 7.
3, 5, and 7. Okay, excellent. And then
Okay.
since you have the cards, you're going to deal 8 for yourself and deal 8 for me. And then you're going to tell me what my 8 cards are. And I'm just going to say right now I'm at a disadvantage because I can't move my cards around. I should have had cards. Oh
Well,
well.
maybe we'll play together. Is that dumb?
Oh, that sounds good.
We
Yeah,
just
yeah.
yeah. I'm
That
not sure
sounds
we have
great.
time for both of us to play.
Okay.
Okay.
So we
So
need 8 cards.
all right,
And
we
the
have
the goal of the game is to make 4 2-digit numbers with those 8 cards. And those need to be multiples of each of the cards that are at the top of the table. So we're making a 2-digit number that's a multiple of 3 and one that's a multiple of 2 and 5 and 7. But we have to use all 8 of the cards.
We're looking to make multiples. Got it.
Yep. So
Got
you want to tell me what
Okay.
the 8 cards are?
Should I tell you them in order? Does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
I've already put them in order, so I'll just.
Okay.
Because is
that a strategy?
While you're talking, I just kind of naturally put them in order.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay,
Yep.
so I have a 0.
Okay.
A 3, a 3.
Okay.
4.
Uh-huh.
6, 8, 8, 9.
Okay. So maybe players or listeners, if you want to play at home, this would be a good time to pause. You have your 4 numbers at the top. You've got the 8 numbers at the bottom. And you're going to make 4 2-digit numbers that are multiples of those ones at the top.
I do not have enough room on my desk here, but I'm making room. Okay,
gonna...
making room. Okay, so I'm thinking right now. Can I think out loud for a minute? Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
So I need to create a 2-digit number that's a multiple of 7. And I think that might be the harder one to do. So I'm kind of...
Oh, that's so funny. That's the first one I did too.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm kind of interested to do that one maybe first. Let's see. 33, 43, 34, 36, 46, 86, 88, 98. Wish I had a 2.
Do you want time or help?
Golly, I'm feeling silly. Hey, once I find the 2-digit number that's a multiple of 7, do those cards are out, right? I can't.
Yes. So that's the thing is you can try, but you might have to mess again when you move on. So I also started with the 7 and I just picked a number that I knew would be a multiple of 7. And then do you want to know where I looked next? I won't tell you what I put, but do you want to know where I looked next?
No, because I can't find a multiple of 7 in these numbers.
Oh,
What is wrong with me? Oh, 49. Good heavens. I don't know if you chose that, but
I didn't at first, but then I had to change.
Oh, so you had something else?
Yeah, I chose 63.
Okay. But then you decided to change it because it didn't do something. Did you put like the 49 with the 7? So it's kind of like now those are together?
Yeah. So I wrote my number that I made underneath the number at the top.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you're not moving cards around.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So I'm a little tempted to try to find a multiple of 5 next.
Yeah, that's what I did too. Okay.
And I have a 0. So that might even be too easy. So maybe I'm not going to worry about the multiple of 5 since I have that 0. Because I can put that 0 with any of these numbers to be a multiple of 5, right?
Yep.
So rather than do that, now I think I'm going to try to find a multiple of 3. And the first one that jumped out at me is 33. So I'm just going to put 33 with my 3. Now I need an even multiple. So I'm just going to choose, I don't know, 68. Why not? And then I've got 80 to be the multiple of 5. Okay. Cool. So I was able to get all 4. Did you have different?
I did, yeah. So when I did 63 for the 7.
Okay.
And then I went to the 5 and I actually did choose a number. And I went for something that I had a lot of digits. So I put 30 right away because I had 2 3s. Then I went to the 3 because I thought 2 will be easy. I went to the 3. And at that point, I don't remember what I had left, but I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go back to the 7 and change it to 49. And I'm going to move the 63 to the 3.
Oh, nice. Because instantly you were like, that 63 is both.
Yeah.
So you can move it around. That's nice. And then what did you have left?
Then I had 88 left.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
So great game, because you're sort of looking for multiples, and I thought it was interesting where both of us were like, "Ooh, let's do the 7 first because it's going to be
Yeah.
the hardest one to find."
Yeah.
And
I
and
tell you
and
what.
yeah,
Sorry.
well,
Sorry. Go
can I
ahead.
say the 2? And then
Yeah.
both of us were like, "Leave the 2 to the end." Like,
Uh-huh.
2, that's going to be. But I also, once I realized I had that 0, leave the 5 to the end.
Hmm.
Because if we have the 0, I mean, that would take the 0. But yeah, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say that I felt like this particular draw was pretty smooth.
Mm,
The one that Luke and I had, I mean,
a charter.
I yeah, I was like, "Are you kidding me right now, Luke? Why can't I figure it out?" And I found 3 of them, and I could not get the 4th one. I
Ah.
messed a little bit, and he would not let me leave. He was like, "No." He was like, "I'm," and I don't remember if he had found 4 already or if we were doing it the first time. I can't remember. It's been a little while. But
Mhm.
he was like, "No."
Keep going, keep going.
Yeah, and I was
That's
like,
awesome.
"Okay, good for you." Yeah, like, and I persevered and I found 4 and I felt really proud of myself.
Yeah, nicely done. And
Yeah.
I think I remember when I watched the video that Michael said, you usually, if you play 3 rounds, usually someone can't get all 4, and so then
Yeah.
there's kind of like a winner.
Yeah.
If that's important. You and I are pretty competitive, so we kinda like to play.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, love it, love it, love it. So
So let's
multiple machine. Oh, yeah,
let's
go
talk
ahead.
about the math for just a second
Okay,
because
okay.
it's called multiple machine. So obviously we're
Mhm,
talking about multiples. But what I
mhm.
also loved was that we're thinking about maybe which numbers, which factors are maybe have more options. So save those for
Mhm.
the end. Like when
Mhm.
you said save 2, well, yeah,
Mhm.
because lots of things could be 2. And I don't know why we both navigated towards a 7. Maybe we're less
I
familiar
mean,
with
like half, right?
7. I don't know. Yeah.
Just can I stay on the lots of numbers or 2?
Yeah.
Like half
Yeah.
or multiples of 2. Okay,
Yeah.
just had to say that out loud.
So and so like the constant, people ask all the time, like fact practice. Hello. Like you're
Mm.
constantly rearranging in a fun way that's not just hold the card, hold the card, hold the card. Do you know it? Do you know it?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think this is a brilliant game, and you were so right that we were gonna love it. And I love that you shared it. I would play this in third grade and up any day.
Yeah, nice, nice. And so if you would like to find more games for Michael Minas and his kids, you can go to lovemaths.me/games. Lovemaths.me/games. We'll put that link in the show notes. Notice it's Love Maths because he's in Australia. We like
Mhm.
the S on the end of math there. Yeah, super cool. And thanks for doing that, Michael. Thanks for putting those out there. And y'all have fun playing some games. And thank you for tuning in and teaching more and more real math. To find out more about the Math is Figureoutable movement, visit mathisfigureoutable.com and keep spreading the word that math is figureoutable. Thank you for listening and making math more figureoutable. If you missed it, registration is currently open for our Building Powerful Mathematics workshops.
Registration only opens 3 times a year. In these workshops is where you will find and learn all the things that you need to make math more figure outable. Find details at mathisfigureoutable.com/workshops.
Hey, K-12 educators, we have a workshop for you. Build your numeracy, build your mathematics, learn the teacher moves, equip yourself with the knowledge you need to have students naturally engaged in their learning. No matter what grade level you teach, we have a targeted workshop for you.
And you can find the best workshop for you at mathisfigureoutable.com/workshops.
Let's change the world together and make math more and more figure outable.